Living for the thrill is a phrase that could very much describe Matteo Mariotti. Since he had moved to Australia to study marine biology, he had made it his priority to document his adventures. What he wasn't very keen on documenting were his last moments alive. Hit like and subscribe. This is Fierce. Matteo Mariotti, a 20-year-old Italian student from Parma, saw his biggest dream become a reality, studying abroad in the beautiful and mysterious Australia, the absolute paradise for any marine biology enthusiast. Ever since he moved to Australia in 2022, he has managed to explore almost every nook and cranny the continent has to offer. But amidst the hikes, sightseeing, and surfing, snorkeling managed to steal his heart. The ocean, along with its many undiscovered creatures, had always interested Matteo, as early as he could remember. So on the day that he received some heartbreaking news from back home, he decided he needed to clear his mind, doing one of his favorite water activities along with a few of his friends. The news of his grandfather Giovanni passing away in Italy shook Matteo to his core. The mere thought that he was thousands of miles away from him, not being able to see him for one last time, filled Matteo's mind. On that Friday afternoon, December 8, 2023, he saw 1770 Beach as the best place to fight that feeling of helplessness. The shores of 1770 Beach are, at times, so rocky that it's difficult to get in and out of the water. This wasn't really a challenge for the 20-year-old. He was used to exploring remote areas and had plenty of experience with rocky shores. However, this serene landscape was about to turn into a nightmare that would test his will to survive. As he slipped on his mask and snorkel and strapped his GoPro camera to his wrist, Matteo took a few steps into the murky water. The familiar sensation of the coolness of the water wrapped around him. A few steps forward, as he was preparing to capture colorful fish and corals on his camera, the tranquility of the waters was shattered. Finally, he saw it. A shark, its jaws latched onto his leg, dragging him deeper into the sea. The shark tugged at Matteo, biting his leg uncontrollably until he finally sank underwater. Its sharp teeth, folding in different directions around Matteo's leg, wouldn't let its prey move, not even an inch. The 20-year-old struggles only led to more injuries. As he tried to release his leg from the shark's jaws, the animal's bite became more powerful, sinking deep into his flesh. Fear and adrenaline combined into a desperate fight for survival. Matteo knew he had to act fast. Struggling against the powerful creature, he grabbed his GoPro camera, struggling to turn it on. "If this is my end, I want my family to know what happened," he thought, his heart pounding in his chest. Matteo's terrified and agonized voice resounded in the water as the camera rolled. "I'm being attacked. Help! Someone, please help me. I beg of you." His friends, relaxing back on the shore, didn't hear Matteo at first. It was only when Tommaso Agasti, Matteo's friend and a trained nurse, lifted his head, scanning the horizon, that he saw the terrifying scene. Without a second thought, Tommaso sprinted toward the water. As he dove into the water, Matteo was bravely fighting for his survival. He tried to keep the shark away as much as possible, fearing it would drag him farther away from the shore. The predator bit him again, this time its jaws almost ripping his leg apart. In that moment, Matteo's instinct kicked in. He kicked the shark's head as hard as he could, wedging his swim fin into the creature's mouth. For only a moment, the shark's jaws released its prey, confused by the foreign object. It was the chance Matteo had been waiting for to save himself. Matteo's friends pulled him onto the rocky shore. He tore off his belt and used it as a tourniquet to slow down the bleeding from Matteo's mangled leg. "Call for help," he yelled to one of his friends, who quickly dialed emergency services. A ray of hope appeared just as they heard the sirens. Paramedics rushed to the scene, but as soon as Martin Kelly, a senior operations supervisor with the Queensland Ambulance Service, saw Matteo's injuries, he knew the situation was dire. "This is one of the most severe injuries I've ever seen," he remarked, directing his team to stabilize Matteo for transport. When the helicopter came, he carried Matteo's stretcher on his shoulder, ensuring he was safe. Matteo was transported by helicopter to Bundaberg Hospital, where he received initial treatment. Later on, he was transferred to Metro North Hospital in Brisbane, where he underwent surgery. The choice was obvious. Matteo's right leg would have to be amputated below the knee in order to save his life. Matteo thought of his dear grandfather and his family as he was wheeled into surgery. He remembers thinking that he desperately didn't want to die and that he wanted to make his grandfather proud. Matteo awoke to a harsh reality. His leg was gone, leaving behind the chilling memory of the attack. The road to recovery would be a difficult one, both for his mental health and his finances. One of his friends, Rachel Guerreri, spearheaded a GoFundMe campaign to tackle the mounting medical bills, and the response resonated globally. Donations poured in, showing everyone's love and support for Matteo. Matteo's thoughts turned back to the terrifying experience that almost took his life as he started his recovery process. The shark, it dragged me relentlessly. Motivated by his love of marine biology, Matteo never lost sight of the greater picture despite the personal tragedy. He was aware of how important sharks were to maintaining the delicate balance of the marine ecosystem. Despite being extremely personal, his experience would not influence his decision-making. He stressed that although shark attacks were undoubtedly scary, they were fortunately uncommon. Statistics paint a sobering picture. The Florida Museum's International Shark Attack File documented 57 unprovoked attacks worldwide the prior year, with only 5 ending in fatalities. With its extensive coastline, Australia came in second place to the U.S. in terms of attacks. Leading shark ecologist Dr. Johan Gustafsson provided insight into the possible risks that might be present below the surface. These apex predators may confuse humans for their natural prey due to poor visibility in murky water. Seasonal movements of baitfish closer to shore attract larger predators such as sharks, which further complicates matters and raises the possibility of mistaken identity bites on unsuspecting swimmers. The water that day was indeed murky. When sharks are chasing fish, a mistaken bite becomes a possibility. Dr. Gustafsson's explanation resonated with Matteo. He, more than most, understood the fragile balance between fear and fascination when it came to these misunderstood creatures. On the shores of 1770 Beach, Matteo Mariotti was unintentionally bitten by a shark that managed to alter the course of his life forever. Despite his Australian adventure ending too soon, he keeps a positive outlook. "I no longer have a leg, but I'm alive," he said. "My grandfather protected me. I feel his presence every day."